Hello, and welcome back to this week's brand new Off the Record podcast. And in today's episode, there is a DJ world record at Glastonbury. How to achieve your DJ goals in 1 hour, and what to do if you run out of gigs. Let's get stuck into this week's Off the Record podcast. Roll the titles.
Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
How are we doing, boys?
We're good.
Yeah, very good.
Survived last week. Jamie was ill.
Yeah, I know, but I'm batting out, and my voice has gone a bit more back to normal for anyone that listened to the podcast last week.
It lasted a while, though.
I know, yeah. It's still showing up in my data. Like, I've got like a heart rate tracking fitness watch thing. It's still showing up in the data. Like, you know, my resting heart rate's higher still.
It's all in the data.
It's all in the data. But you know what? I've just gone, forget that. I'm just working out again. I'm just doing my usual. I'm not waiting around for this.
For anyone watching, I'm just going to cut Danny because he bleeds feta cheese.
Yeah.
He was on holiday. How was your haul?
It was good, very relaxing, but yeah, I'm still trying to ease down on the food a bit.
Very tanned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to Greece. Greece.
Do you find that when you go on holiday, you just like eat and consume and eat and eat and eat? You just don't stop eating.
That's what you do for
That's all I do.
Drink.
One week in the year.
Get up, beer.
Yeah. I know. I had to have that like airport 4 a.m. beer. It's just like the law, isn't it? You go to an airport, you got to have that beer.
Yeah, for sure. Me and you have very different breaks.
Yeah. Well, you've just been away, haven't you? You talk about that.
Survived. Yeah, anyone listened last week, I was out in Ibiza working.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
work. I mean, one set across a whole weekend.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Flew out there on a Friday, gig on Saturday, home Sunday. But really good. Played there last year. Ibiza Rocks this is. So it's essentially a big hotel, and all the rooms basically overlook the stage, basically. They have some huge acts on there.
Were you staying in Ibiza Rocks? So
stayed in Ibiza Rocks as well, which is amazing because you get to meet like all the DJs that were there. Met Switch Disco, who were killing it. They have a Friday residency out there. I played for a brand called Applebone, which is like hip hop, garage, UK stuff. And it was absolutely rammed. I did it last year. It was early season. We actually went on Danny's stag do last year. Yeah. And I played there, and it was very early season, so a bit more tame. But this year it was all in. Super cool, treated me really well there. So thanks to guys at Ibiza Rocks, and I'm there again next month. So yeah, if you're going to go and check that out, you can check out on my socials at DJ Lawrence James. There's some pics and stuff up there as well.
Are you classed as a resident if you're playing a few times, or what classes you as a resident?
Mine's the guest.
Or are you a guest?
So there are residents there. So look, shout out DJ Policy, shout out C Star, shout out Khadijah. They are the residents over there for Applebum.
They're playing that every day, pretty much.
No, so they're actually they're residents for the brand, which do every Friday at Ibiza Rocks. But obviously they live on the island. So, for example, I went to one of DJ Policy's nights. He plays at a bar called Soul City, and he's there sort of every night, every other night. And there's a group of them, like 3 that kind of rotate.
So it's quite interesting because Applebum is a UK brand, right?
Yes.
So it's an event brand.
Europe, but now it's started in that UK.
Yeah, and it's around the UK and does cities around the UK, and then summer now they do a residency in Ibiza. So it just shows if you can get in with a brand in your country or even your city, you never know where that brand's going to take you, and that's where that brand has taken you now to Ibiza to be able to play, 3 times is it over the summer in Ibiza?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So that's amazing just to see how, like, you don't have to necessarily go out to the party islands and try and pick up gigs. Gigs can actually take you out there instead. So it's a really good thing to think about.
Yeah, because what happens is, you grow as a DJ and your promoters around you do as well. Like they get ambitious. They don't want to be doing, one night a week on a Wednesday student night. They get ambitious. All of a sudden they're doing 4 or 5 nights. Then all of a sudden they can't make any more money. So maybe they'll go out of town, out of the city centre to a nearby city. They max that out, and then it's like, okay, summer, everyone goes abroad. DJs go abroad as well to get some work. So yeah, it all plays into it, and if you just play sort of the long game, stick professional, keep them relationships intact over time, and you never know what could come of it, really.
Me and you, Danny, had the same experience, but the opposite time of year. So promoters that we knew ended up starting their own skiing and snowboarding festival, and we ended up going out there as like resident DJs for the festival, and have done for many years. I don't anymore, but you've been out there for the last few years as well.
So, same promoters as the one I've just been to, by the way.
So, there you go,
again,
smashing it.
Small circles.
Yeah.
Smashing it in Ibiza and in the Alps.
Yep.
Sick bit of news this week. DJ Archie, 9-year-old, is now in the Guinness World Record for the youngest DJ to ever perform at Glastonbury.
Right, let's give him a clap.
Give him some of these.
9 years old.
And he plays drum and bass.
Yeah.
He's class.
Crazy.
So follow DJ Archie on Instagram. He's absolutely brilliant.
I think it also said that he was the first. He was the youngest DJ to ever play in a club at 4 years old.
Oh my God.
4.
I mean, I don't
Like,
know. Don't know how that went
his
down.
parents are absolute legends, by the way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Big shout out to our YouTube family. We are live again. We always love your input. So if you are watching
Locked
online,
in from everywhere, from Las Vegas to Uganda. So
Oh my
what's up,
gosh.
man? Love that.
we love your questions. So it can be literally anything. If you want to know how to get more gigs, if your controller's broken, or sort of anything in between. If you want to take us to Las Vegas, that's fine as well. But any questions, Jamie's going to favourite your questions throughout the podcast.
Yeah, man.
And we love to answer your nitty gritty questions at the end. And let us know where you're watching from as well. Okay, so today's theme, we talk about achieving and leveling up success. You might have heard, or you should have seen already, that we launched a complete DJ package last week.
Yes. Shout out to Jiggy Ricky as well. Just bought it.
Oh, well,
Nice.
there we
There we
go,
go.
Jiggy.
Perfect time.
Keep that DJ name, by the way.
Yeah.
Jiggy Ricky.
Top tier.
Nice.
That can be in Go DJ, No DJ next week. We launched a complete DJ package. If you don't know, it's just access to everything that we've ever created education-wise. So it's over 20 plus courses, 50 hours of bonus content, and then you get access to any future course we ever make as well. It's kind of the package that grows with you and literally all the education you need to succeed. So go and check that out if you've not checked it out already. But we're going to try and give you some more like actionable steps. And I've been thinking, what can you do with very limited time? One of the sort of common questions or themes we get is, how much time do I need to put into this? Am I doing enough? Am I practicing enough? And I think that it can actually be broken down into, it can get overwhelming. You see somebody with, 20,000 followers putting out 10 pieces of content a day. You're like, how do I even get there? How do I even get to that place? But just systematically, if you would just break it down into small chunks and we just think about, right, 1 hour a day, that's either, getting up 1 hour early, going to bed 1 hour later, not watching 10 episodes of What's Out, Money Heist, Squid Game, and watching 9 instead, okay? So just trying to carve out 1 hour a day per day. What can we do with that? So if we think about a general Monday, we're going to start off with just no plan practicing. So that is literally putting the fun back into what the thing that you love to do, which is just setting up your decks in your room and just practicing without an end goal. So there's not this thing, I've got to get this loop perfect, I've not got to try this thing. It's just like total open practice. Even if you just love house, let's put some R&B on and let's have a mix and just have no kind of expectation. Just totally get lost in it. Play the music that you love with no kind of plan, just for like an hour. And you can set a timer as well. Like you'd be like, okay, 1 hour I'm doing a dedicate to this, get started. And you'll probably find yourself just going over because you're just in it.
Yeah, enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to expand on creativity. Giving yourself the freedom and the space to just be and do, the thing that you love. That's where usually the creative things start to crop up. And you're probably going to touch on this, but that whole learning process of going back and forth between learning something new and then, actually just practicing your craft as well. And there's two sides to it. So I'll let you carry on, but we'll jump back in with that.
No, 100%. Yeah. And just having that free practice. And it's something that like we struggle with as well. Obviously we DJ quite a lot. We've got Crossfader. And then now and again, we'll just have an hour to ourselves and be like, oh, this is heaven.
Yeah.
No,
it is, yeah.
You've just been doing it down here. It's just
exactly.
So nice just to have no end goal to it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. And then you come up with the mentalist transitions and that kind of stuff that stick with you.
Yeah.
So I just think, step one, Monday, just 1 hour on a Monday, either like I say, get up early or go to bed later, or just, one evening, 1 hour of just like practice. So Tuesday, then I would take that time to then film that content. So you've made some mashups, you've done some transitions, you'd be like, oh, this works, this doesn't work, this works. Let's now dedicate a time to actually pressing record, putting your phone up and like recording some of that stuff that you filmed yesterday. And that way it's not like you don't have pressure to be, all right, I've only got an hour here, let me film something, I need to get something, and then nothing's coming off and you've got that, you're like, oh God, okay, and then you put your phone away and like I say, you get that overwhelm of going online, don't you, and seeing all these DJs posting and you're like, oh God, nothing seems to be happening. But if you just take away that and just like, today I'm filming and that's it. yesterday practice, today I'm filming.
Have you ever found it as well, where when you've been like had that 24 hours where you've been to sleep, you've let your brain step away from what you're doing. Then when you come back to it, suddenly like you notice a difference. You're like, it's clicking. Yeah. Oh, what's happened here? Like, and actually all it is you've just given your brain chance to actually digest it and let it soak in, and it's usually overnight as well. You can have a break during the day and go back to it, but it's when you go to sleep that it really like imprints these new little things, whether it's transitions or skills, it imprints it in your brain.
Yeah. It's almost in your muscle memory as well.
It is, yeah.
Well, and look, about 50% of Crossfader mixes was made the day after it started.
Yeah.
So if you look at the YouTube video, don't pretend they don't happen in one take.
No, I wish they did.
I wish they did. And I'd say I definitely like with the product releases, because when a new product we get, we have to try and use the new features, and you'll be you'll have this thing in your head that you're trying to do, and you're like, I'll just go sleep on it, and you'll come back, and either it won't be that important, and you just be like, why don't I just cut that out? It's too hard, it doesn't make sense, so you just cut that out, and you're like, actually, it's more amazing. Or you come back to it, nail it in one take, because you're just fresh. So yeah, Tuesday is filming. So you got Monday, practice. Tuesday, filming. Wednesday is the time to post that content. So sort of edit it, post it, and have the time to sort of interact with it as well. So just in that day, your content's gone up, and then you're going to sort of interact, not just with your stuff, but with other DJs that you follow, your mates, other big DJ accounts as well. It's quite a good way to sort of boost your following. If you're in like a niche, you can sort of get into a habit of commenting on like big DJs posts, because they'll find your stuff eventually. You don't need to be like, oh, by the way, if you're into techno, follow me. You can add some value to somebody's post and then comment on what somebody else has said. Like, oh yeah, I like that too. What are you into? And then build some relationships through that way. And that's how you can sort of build a community around like the music that you enjoy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, all the people that you're gonna want following you, are following the people that you look up to as well. Yeah. Probably commenting on the posts that you like. So you do. Sometimes when I look in comments, you see regular commenters, and it makes you think, oh, who's that person? They're obviously really active in this scene, in this sub genre of the industry or something. Let's just connect. And that happens all the time.
Yeah. So a DJ said to me like, oh, I just feel like I'm posting the same thing, and it's like, well, I really like Drake. All the songs sound the same, but I like, do you know what I mean? I like, if you like one artist, you're not like, oh my god, that sounds exactly the same as the last one. It's like you like what you like, don't you?
Yep.
So again, and it's just taking that mind frame out of being like, this is spread over 3 hours, over 3 days, as opposed to trying to get all this done in like one pressurized afternoon where you're tired or you're hungry, you're late or something. You got a plan for the day, and now it's like, I've got an hour. My only focus is on going on Instagram or TikTok for an hour, uploading my stuff and reacting to it and trying to sort of build a community. And then Thursday. So Thursday is sort of more networking. So more reaching out to the people that are like hiring in your area, or more local DJs online. So any sort of managers that that you can sort of find on LinkedIn or Instagram, or any sort of local DJs in your area, any like event planners, anyone's got like an agency. Now you've sort of uploaded your recent content, you can send that and be like, look, I'm active, I'm like serious, I've just uploaded, I'm consistent, check out my stuff, if ever I can come and warm up for you, if you've got any slots here, there, or anywhere. I think you'll be very surprised how many sort of doors you can open. I think weirdly people are just afraid to ask. And as soon as you put yourself out there, you realize managers go, oh yeah, oh my god, yeah, we're struggling here. Like we've been reaching out DJs, we can't find any DJs. Like, you'll be surprised. So I'd say just stick to 1 hour a day on a Thursday to sort of start networking. Good time as well, sort of before the weekend as well. You might find yourself a quick opening at the weekend. Friday, inspiration, like learning and inspiration day. So get on YouTube, go on to find your favorite DJs, who's been performing at Glastonbury this weekend. Can I get some inspiration from that? Go and watch. Or Crossfader just posted a tutorial. Can I go and learn some of these? We just posted a techniques transitions mix last night. There's like 9 different transitions there. Like, can I just go and learn that? You don't have to do it. Just like go and watch it. Ingest it, soak it in, write some ideas down in your notes that you can come back to.
A lot of my inspiration comes from listening to other DJs. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from other DJs and going, oh, that was cool, I'm going to try to replicate that. Okay, now I'm going to take that track and mix it with something different. And then suddenly you go off down a tangent and you're like, oh, this was a cool tangent.
Yeah, yeah.
And that all stemmed from me just like watching DJ mix a song. And I thought, oh, that's a cool song. I want to do something with that.
Yeah.
So.
Big time, yeah. I did it like yesterday. We got some new equipment. Can't tell you what it is. We got some new equipment in. I'm like, what shall I go with this mix? What shall I go? And then I looked and I found a couple of mixes from like Jazzy Jeff. That's our friend Jordan Lee. I was like, yeah, a little bit of kind of like 90s, early 2000 hip hop. Like, I'm inspired by that. Let's go and do something like that. So again, just that day is your dedicated day, 1 hour just to sit and almost not do nothing, but just sit, watch, ingest, take notes, and then you see the cycle next time when you come back around Monday. You practice. You've got some things to sort of practice about and then think about. Saturday as well, depending on how many gigs you've got, just kind of go out to the gigs. So Saturday will be generally the busiest place, won't it, in town or your city or something like that. Try and go to as many gigs as you can and sort of introduce yourself. Go to local bars. If you want to go to the club scene or something like that, just try and go out to like an event, even if it's like part of your inspiration. There's a gig on this afternoon somewhere. Let's go and check it out. And that all feeds into sort of your plan. And then Sunday, most important one is like rest. Like, don't do anything DJ related, like at all. Just like totally switch off, turn your phone off, and enjoy like a rest and relaxation. And then you can see where if you get into this kind of good routine, it'll just happen naturally for you and like fall into plan.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate, and I'm also going to like just explain that like that's a great example of a week and how you can dedicate your time 1 hour a day throughout the week. But obviously you can interchange that. You don't have to be like, okay, well, Thursday is always going to be networking day and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You can just get into that mindset of going, okay, well, 1 hour each day I'm dedicating towards the thing that I love. Yeah. And that could be in different capacities. Something you haven't mentioned is, searching for music and just listening to music. That's a big part of DJing. Is not actually being in front of the decks, but just listening to lots of music, tune hunting. You don't even have to open any DJ equipment, software, or touch any DJ equipment. You can just listen. And that's something I love doing as well. Yeah. And you can do that, as you're going about your day to day as well. You can have music on in the background at work sometimes if it calls for it. If you just sat at a laptop. At the gym while you're driving. So that's a whole part of it as well. But also just thinking about like, well, what are your goals? If you want to achieve goals, if your goal is, working DJ, it's a great setup for a working week. But maybe your goal is just to get more creative. And that's where you can just split out that time across the different aspects of learning and allowing for creativity to flow. Because as someone mentioned in the comments here with the live, it's like creativity can't be forced. So you've got to give yourself that time to like allow it to just flow. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We all know that. Anyone that's, really like stuck at DJing for a while will know sometimes it just doesn't click.
For sure.
And then sometimes you're like, whoa, the flow is real right now. I'm just picking all the right tracks and they're just working. And you just end up, in a good place. And that's where sometimes maybe if you're just battling away at the decks trying to force something out, it's not working. Try a different aspect of it. Just like Lawrence was saying, maybe it's like, you know what, I'm just going to like get online and just go and comment and watch some other DJs and just go and comment on some videos. It's still practical. It's still productive. And maybe that's what your journey needed at that moment. It wasn't about being in front of the deck, so give yourself that fluidity too.
And I think that like a great quote is like, creative people need time to do nothing. So
yes.
It's like, if you just always think about it, we have it all the time, like just need some time to yourself doing absolutely nothing.
And get inspiration from other places. Don't feel like you have to go and watch another DJ to get ideas as a DJ. Like you could literally watch, like some orchestra or something and think, what's going on there? How is the cohesion between all these instruments? How does that work? How is an orchestra put together? How do all these elements come together of like 50 odd, different musicians? Can I bring some of that into my, structure as a DJ? Like, at the end of the day, I'm piecing things together. So you can get inspiration. It doesn't have to be as linear as like, I watch a DJ set, I get inspired, I go and do that. Like, it can come from all places. Sometimes you could get inspired by just, visual things. It could be like videos that you watch. It could be, graphics that you see. It doesn't even have to be music. So it definitely just fuel that creativity.
Had a great message from one of our students, and I might make this like a feature because we got some really good reaction from a guy who last week on a podcast became he reached out. He was a K-pop DJ, and he reached out to his favorite club Long story short, he ended up being a residency just by reaching out to them, sort of a cold email. And people loved that. And I've got another one here. It's a bit shorter, but it's from a student called Noz. He says, I'm an Argentina DJ and producer, and I moved to Madrid 2 months ago. I started going to clubs and talking with people. At the second club I went to, I met the DJ there and we hit it off. I showed him my DJ material and my live sets that I've got on YouTube, and he got me to play 8 clubs in 6 weeks. Now I'm playing 3 or 4 shows a week and the clubs are booking me all the time. Bottom line, don't wait for it to happen. Go and make it happen.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. Go on. Love to hear stuff like that.
Love to hear that. I think, just the more sort of positive reinforcement you get from sort of people in your sort of similar situation, I think it's great because, like I said, what I said it before, like people are sort of afraid to ask. And networking, it just doesn't come natural to sort of everybody. Yeah. But if you've got a bit of social proof, a bit of content that you can just like lead with, or if you can lead with value, even better, that can definitely get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
100%. Right, shall we have a bit of Reddit?
Yep.
Reddit drama, it's all over the place. People arguing, fighting, all up in your face. Reddit drama. Reddit drama.
This is an interesting story.
Just quickly, there's going to be more Reddit drama. Like, we need to say that Reddit drama has exploded recently. It's all over the news. Yeah. Like, Reddit drama is just a whole topic in mainstream media at the moment.
RedditDrama.com.
Reddit's having drama.
So, if nobody else knows, like, loads of Redditors have closed down their groups, so no one new can join them because Reddit are trying to
monetize it.
Yeah, trying to monetize it in other ways to use the APIs and things. So, which is not what the platform was developed for in the first place, and all these people have put years and years into building these open forums, and then they're trying to just monetize off it. So interesting.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. It's not a beef. It's not being a knob or anything, but it's just an interesting story. And a similar thing happened to me. So before the pandemic, I was a local DJ downtown at several clubs. I was getting paid about $150 per night. It wasn't so much that I enjoyed the experience, but more the money. My friends would be with me. I enjoyed doing it. And not to be a brag, but I was pretty good. I'm also a music producer and has been featured on live streams from artists like Dead Mouse's record label, Mousetrap. Sound like he's established DJ.
Doing well.
Yeah. After the pandemic, I only got 1 gig for $250 for the night. After that, all doors shut in my face. They started hiring young 18, 19-year-olds for dirt cheap, like $50 to $100 a night instead. Not to be an arsehole, but I went to the club, heard them play, and they were just horrible. And I was like, this is what I've been replaced with. Fast forward, no matter who I talk to or which club I go to, I get slammed with, sorry, we've already got a DJ. My friend who has been in the entertainment events completely and loved my mix, and he said he will be getting me a gig very soon. Not a single word, and the last time I tried talking to him, he ghosted me. My music is my hobby. I'm getting really depressed for being shut down. I've got a decent day job, so it's not like the be-all and end-all. But any advice, because I'm at the point where I don't know what to do.
Tricky.
Thoughts?
It's
interesting.
He's not
being a knob. It's just circumstantial.
I feel like the whole COVID thing was a very big turning point for the whole industry. Like, I feel like this is when things like TikTok blew up a lot, really. And this whole, I feel like a new wave of DJs really came in, and I'm sure it was like that here, and it will have been like that all over the world, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like a different way to showcase your talent, full stop, compared to what it was before COVID.
Yeah.
So, whether all the promoters were suddenly like, oh, we want to go towards that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happens, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird because exactly the same thing happened to me. I went back to the clubs, and first of all, they tried to sort of undercut everyone, and that's not like for your talent or anything like that. It's circumstantial, right? Clubs were closing left, right, and centre. They needed to cut all costs everywhere. Everyone was getting cut costs. It wasn't just DJs. That's what the first thing I will say. Two things with me. One, I refused to lower my fee because I just knew long term where that would put me in a position because I've never done it before, and I think as soon as you sort of open a gap up, then you lose your credibility. Now I was in a more fortunate position where pretty established. I know a lot of promoters, and obviously we've got Crossfader and things like that. But I knew that as soon as I started taking less money, that's just an open door for because you can never really have the conversation about, okay, what level of COVID are we out of here, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a very tricky one to sort of navigate. So I held firm, and yeah, but again, there was DJs doing it for like £50. I was getting paid to sort of 250, 300. There was DJs in there going for £50, and yeah, they weren't great at all, but times were just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think two things. One, I would hold firm if you've got sort of another income, because you're established and stuff. You don't want to go down that route. But two, which a lot of people are suggesting on Reddit, is to start your own parties.
Yeah.
If you've got a sort of a niche in the music that you love, you can get a collective of DJs around sort of your similar age, start at a really small venue, 100, 200, promote
Especially
it.
if you're not doing it for the money. You know, he mentioned that he's not doing it for the money. He's got a job and this, that, the other. But, you know, should he carry on trying this? And that's a great solution in that circumstance.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's one way around it. But yeah, I think that, like I said, I don't think there's been a knob or anything like that, but there's some really good comments like, yeah, start your own party. I've started my own party and, you know, now we're making money, all that kind of thing. So yeah, a couple of ways to go about it. But yeah, always difficult when, you know, DJs are undercutting you and all this kind of thing. But I would always say it's kind of sort of stick to your guns, and because as soon as you go low, it's a bit like when nightclubs, or whenever I see a nightclub saying £1 drinks, I'm like, you're going to close in about a month.
Yeah, you just know it.
Because as soon as you're offering £1 drinks, you
Yeah.
can't be like, okay, now it's £3, because everyone will be like, well, it was £1 last week. What's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as you start lowering your fee, I think that you're in tricky sort of waters. Right, shall we do a game?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's do it. We are doing higher or lower. So
Okay.
you guys can play along at home, in your car, at the gym. Where's the weirdest place you've listened to this podcast? Can you DM us that? Don't be too weird. But where are you right now? Somebody like up a mountain, or I want to know if you're listening to this podcast then in a weird place. Let us know.
Yeah.
Not too weird, but you know. You can play along online as well on YouTube, Facebook. It is, who are the richest DJs in the world?
Oh.
So I'm going to choose a DJ, and then I'll say the next DJ, and you've got to say whether they are worth more or worth less, which is a very weird, rich game. But this is a Forbes list, so I didn't make these numbers up. Right, so Steve Aoki, we'll start with. It's all them big guys.
Right.
Steve Aoki is worth 95 mil. Well done.
Good for him.
Good for him. Throwing kicks. 95 mil for throwing kicks.
He's got a massive trampoline in his house as well.
it's like off his balcony.
Yeah, like jumps off his balcony
into his pool.
Yeah.
Unbelievable scenes.
I know someone that I just found out, I think this weekend just gone, that they ended up having like picking Steve Aoki up after a night that they'd been to with a friend from a hotel, and like they went out just partying together.
I can
and
imagine.
it was just totally random,
Yeah.
and they didn't really. They were like, "Oh, it's Steve Aoki."
Yeah.
Like literally just this weird thing. That
It's
just
weird,
happened.
but you just expect Steve Aoki to be there, because
Yeah.
I think I read on the thing, I was like, oh my god, he's worth that much, but it's because he does not stop gigging. He is that.
Yeah.
He said he did 277 gigs last year. I was like, what?
What was the number again? Sorry,
Right, Steve Aoki is worth $95 million according to Forbes.
Yep.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
Is Deadmau5 worth? Is Deadmau5 the mouse?
Deadmau5.
Worth more or less than Steve Aoki?
I'm
Higher
saying-
or lower than 95 mil for Deadmau5?
Higher.
I'm gonna say lower. Although he has got a late. No, I'm gonna say lower.
It is lower.
Is it?
50 mil.
Wow.
50 mil.
Wow.
Now, the next one's a curveball. And if you know what this is, don't shout it out because this will affect it, all right? So, Deadmau5, 50 mil. Higher or lower? Thomas Bangalter.
Ooh, higher.
That's really interesting.
Oh.
If you didn't do any gigs,
Oh.
really, but in the odd live.
Yeah, but, like, think about the music, the catalogue.
royalties, like
The back catalogue
the
is
royalties.
strong.
Right. So, you both know what it is?
Yeah.
Right. Wait a minute until you answer it because people might not know that is.
Okay.
So, higher or lower to Thomas Bangalter? 50 mil is Deadmau5.
I'm gonna go higher.
I'd say higher, but
Higher.
not by much. Slightly.
It is $70 million.
Wow.
And
Nice.
he is
He is one half of Daft Punk.
one half of Daft Punk.
And hasn't he just released a new album, or just about to release a
has
new
he?
album?
Oh,
I think
cool.
so,
A
yeah.
solo album.
Have they done
Yeah.
many separate stuff, have they? Then?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a massive catalogue in his own
Oh,
name.
fair
Like,
enough.
there's so much stuff he's done.
That's cool.
Check him out.
Okay, Thomas Bangalter, half of Daft Punk.
Oh, and Stardust, you know, Music Sounds Better With You. That's him as well.
Nice. 70 mil for him. Afrojack, higher or lower?
Higher.
But yeah, he's like one of these Vegas DJs, so it could be higher.
Higher. He'll charge big bucks for the gigs, I think.
Yeah, higher.
But maybe not as much royalty.
Lower, 660 mil. I mean, don't feel too bad for it. Don't feel too bad.
This is a hard game.
It is, and there is a few more curveballs in it.
Okay.
This is probably not one of them.
So he was 60, yeah?
Yeah.
He was 60 mil.
Right.
Higher or lower, my best mate, David Guetta.
Oh, higher. He's got to be like way up there.
I know it's David Guetta. I know it's David Guetta, guys. All right.
Higher.
150 mil.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Battle of the Titans, Tiesto, higher or lower than 150 mil?
I'm going to say lower.
I'd say lower.
It's higher.
Ooh. What?
I think
Even with all those pop, I suppose Tiesto's got a lot like pop hits as
Tiesto
well.
lately, he's got a new top 10 every week.
Was it last year or the year before that David Guetta actually sold his whole catalogue of music?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was for like 100 mil, wasn't it? It's like 100 mil or something. So yeah, Tiesto's worth 170 mil.
Wow.
Chainsmokers, higher or lower?
They're
Lower?
big.
Lower.
Yeah, it is lower. Still 80 mil.
I mean,
So that's more than Afrojack, more than Deadmau5, more than
They're doing all right.
half of Daft Punk, 80 mil. Swedish House Mafia, higher or lower?
is that all three of them?
Yeah.
Is it combined income?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, yeah. I guess
Or is
so.
it the
I think
Swedish
it's
House
the
Mafia
brand.
brand?
Yeah, I think it's the
Brand.
brand, which does change it. Does change it, doesn't it?
I'd maybe say lower.
Who was it? Chainsmokers last.
Yeah.
60.
80 mil, 80 mil.
80 mil Chainsmokers. So I'm going to say higher?
I'm going to say lower.
It's higher, 100 mil.
Right.
100 mil.
Okay.
The King, Calvin Harris.
Oh, he's got to be top,
Highest.
surely.
Gotta be
highest.
higher.
Yeah, at the top.
I
the
thought he
number
was the
one,
highest.
300. And again, seeing as you know the first one, the second one was a curveball. Guy Manuel de Homon Cristo. Do we know what that is?
Guy Manuel.
Ooh, that's good.
De Homon Christo.
Yeah. Is he higher or lower than Calvin Harris?
Who is he?
Right.
There it is.
I'm just going to say
Guy Manuel de Homon Cristo.
I mean, what a name.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so obvious when you say it.
It will be now when you say it.
Lower. Because I don't.
I'm saying lower.
I mean, it is
Lower.
Calvin Harris, so
Yeah, I'm saying lower.
Yeah, it is lower. 90 mil. He's the other half of Daft Punk.
Oh.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah, 90 mil. He's got 20 mil more than his mate. That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
He's got more than Thomas Bangala.
It says so.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That is
I
interesting.
wonder how.
Yeah.
Maybe he does a lot more writing for other people
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, other
or producing for other people.
other podcasts would do this research.
We don't.
So 90 mil, final DJ Jamie Hartley. Is he higher or lower than half of Daft Punk?
Listen, mate, if Jamie's got 90 mil, we need to talk.
It is higher, $17.9 billion. Thank you. $17.9 billion, guys.
There we go.
There we go. So,
And I'm stood here
and we just
in a little
just
basement
learned-
doing a podcast with you two.
Humble.
Yeah, stay humble. Gang, every week there is a discount to all of our DJ courses. So any individual DJ course you buy, you just use the code off the record for 20% off any individual DJ course. Or if you want 75% off all DJ courses, the complete package is now live, which is 20 plus courses, 50 hours of bonus content, access to all future courses as well. Just to let you know, there is a music management course coming in the next month or so, and a STEMS one by the end of the year. So do we have questions from the gang?
We've got a few, but just before, just to promote, like, obviously get your questions in now. We're going to answer them soon. But we need to just talk about Beatport streaming.
Oh, sorry.
CDJ 3000.
Missed it.
Tech section.
So we're just going to start this podcast again, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of...
Right back. Jamie's got to park his Bentley.
So yeah, we need to have a little chat about it.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything on it yet because we've had issues with it being in. We're in an office,
Yeah,
and
we can't afford internet. even
basically,
though-
like, we're trying to get piggyback off the office internet into like our own personal router to be able to get internet into the CDJs properly. But you know, we're gonna test it.
Yeah.
So
Which is the beauty of a thing not having actual Wi-Fi inside it.
Yeah. This is the big downside of the CDJs compared to Denon. All the Denon gear, we just log in.
Yep.
So yeah, we hit hurdle with that. But I am still excited, regardless the fact that Beatport streaming has come to CDJs. I know it's nothing compared to all the Denon products, but it is a big move for Pioneer to bring the first streaming integration. I'm hoping that means other streaming integrations will be popping up soon.
Well, I mean, BeatSource is the same API, isn't it? So
Yeah,
should be plug and play, really.
Surely, yeah. And it ultimately means that you can be connected through a router and have all your CDJs connected via Pro DJ Link. You can just log in on one CDJ after you've updated to the latest firmware, and then you can play across all 4 decks, and you can even use like the touch preview to preview the tracks off Beatport before you actually load them into the deck. You can, store all of these songs as well within a mix and mash within the cloud library sync, which is Rekordbox's like version of you putting stuff in the cloud, your own music. And so you can have music from Beatport streaming and your own music all in like a cloud space and then DJ that way. I feel like it's kind of natural that they've gone Beatport first, because a lot of the clientele that use the Pioneer gear, the big artists, probably get a lot of the music from Beatport. So it kind of makes sense for them to roll that out first. But pretty exciting for the industry. I wonder if they're going to roll it out on like, your XZs and RX3s and Opus quads.
Be good if they do.
I hope so.
You would have thought, like,
I feel like it makes almost more sense. On those.
Surely now with the Beatport partnership, surely the next controller will have him built Beatport. I mean, what a weird thing to not have. So it'd be so weird. But yeah, I'm excited about the streaming. Like something that I will definitely use. It'd be so handy. I think. The good thing is as well, as soon as you put like your USB in, it's basically caching everything to your USB. So when you're setting hot cues on the fly and things like that, it's saving them to that USB. So then when you come back next time, it's all there for you. Or you can do that within sort of export mode and then take it there. But it's good. It's a good move. Again, still not as frictionless as it needs to be, but one step at a time, guys.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
one
step at a time.
All right, questions.
Couple questions, gang.
See what we got.
Right then. I want to buy DJ gear between Rev 7 and Flex 10, but I'm confused which one is the best. I'm not even. I think that reframe it. It's not which one is the best. They're both great controllers. The big difference is you've got motorized moving platters on one, and you've got static jog wheels on the other. So the Rev 7 is very much designed for the battle DJs, the ones that want to be doing routines, learning how to scratch, beat juggle, do all of that kind of stuff. And it inherits that whole layout. The Flex 10 is more like you're kind of, I don't know, it's got all the features you need, open format a little bit, it works with multitude of softwares, whereas the Rev 7, it's like you're a Serato DJ that wants to play, routines and do, cool tricks. The Flex 10 is like, I want to take this out and maybe do gigs with it. I want to, have the ability to switch between Rekordbox and try Rekordbox and Serato. And I also want all those performance features there. You'll be happy with both of them.
Stems on it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. It does,
But the Rev 7's better. Anyway. I'll joke.
Someone said SoundCloud bootlegs. Can they be used in YouTube mixes? It's actually a good thing.
It's actually like one of the most fun things you can do. SoundCloud, Bandcamp, going on a tune hunt and just saving them and, getting a free download, like using Hyped and supporting the guys that are making these edits. And they keep your set unique as well, as opposed to, playing Beatport Top 10. There's thousands of edits out there, and once you find a good section of stuff that you like, it's really it makes like tune hunting a lot more fun.
Check out Bandcamp as well if you've not seen that.
So we've got 2 comments here just about gigs, just off the back of success and people's experiences, like we were speaking about earlier in the podcast. DJ AD Foster is all about taking the chance and asking. Went to an event at a brewery last month, chatted with staff. They had me play their Pride party on Sunday. Played for 8 hours. They've now booked me for New Year's Eve.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is what it's about. Them little opportunities. You've just got to put a little branch out there now and again. And you just never know. I think that I don't know what stops people. Obviously, that little mental block, but the smallest little interactions can lead to insane opportunities.
This is another good one, something to always remember. DJ Bash said, last month was on my first club gig, and funny thing, my head was all over, thinking of the vibe of the place, time I will play, and what they will think of the music. But I just said, F it, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Just not overthinking it. You
Big
know,
time.
it's
For
so
sure.
easy, especially in this first club gigs. You know, we had an email today even about this from one of our students, and it's that thing of like, it's so easy to just get caught in this headspace of like, oh, am I going to do the right thing? Is it all going to go to plan? Am I going to do great? Like, and you get trapped in it, and that can actually be detrimental because it can. Then you focus on any slight little negative that happens, and I guarantee you there are going to be things that don't go to plan.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be transitions that aren't perfect, and if you're in that headspace of like, oh, I hope things don't go wrong, you're going to hook onto those little things when they do go wrong, not if they do go wrong, when they go wrong, and you'll hook onto them, not all the 90% of the set that's going great, which is what you want to focus on. And I guarantee if you do focus on that little mistake, it starts to build that stress up inside you, and then you make another mistake, and then another one, and it's a self-fulfilling thing. So definitely just thinking, let's just relax into this.
But I think also like that sort of pre-gig thing that will never go away. That's not a thing that you can just like master. Obviously, it gets easier over time. But like I was saying in the office earlier, like even though the gig I had in Ibiza, like up until it, I was still thinking about it, and I was planning and over planning a set, and will this work? Will this not work? And then you know what happens? As soon as you press play on deck one, it's like that all goes away.
Yeah.
And like your instincts just kick in, and all the preparation you've done makes it so easy because you're like, oh, I've planned for this. It's all good.
Yep.
I think it's more the anticipation that gets people, and you're trying to perfect like every little thing. And you know, most DJ sets aren't perfect. That's the point of it. That's the whole point of it. Your next DJ set won't be. If you make your DJ set perfect, the next one's gonna be different anyway. Yeah. So what's the point in trying to make a perfect DJ set when you're never gonna have the same DJ set?
Yep.
This one a bit more technical, but Michael said, I have a Prime 4. What do you think about setting the tempo to its highest setting to analyze a playlist? I'm guessing like the analyzation options here. Do you think it will be true to the analyzation, as in like, is it going to get the right BPM? I think a lot of softwares have like brackets that you choose, like when you analyze your music between a certain BPM, maybe it's like between 80 BPM to 150 BPM or 90 BPM to 170 BPM or something. So all I'd say is just think about like, what is the majority of your music? You know, where does it sit within that? Most of the time, it doesn't really matter because the brackets are so wide anyway. It catches nearly everything, but it's usually the ones at the end of the brackets. Like, for example, bear in mind that a drum and bass track could be analysed at 174 BPM, which is its actual BPM, 174 beats per minute. But it can also be analysed at halftime, which is 87 BPM, which is half of 174. So, which isn't wrong necessarily. It's just the halftime of its BPM. So it's basically counting every other beat. Both are correct, and it depends where you want your music to sit in your library. And if you've got a range in your software set between, you know, that and say 170, it won't analyze it at 174 BPM. It will analyze it at 87 BPM. For example, a drum and bass track. And then that's the same with various genres as well. So just something to bear in mind. A bit more technical, but definitely a very good question.
Sure.
And then another technical question. What cloud format would you recommend for Rekordbox? Could you do it with Dropbox? They actually recommend Dropbox.
They
and their
do now,
top
don't they?
tier plan actually includes like unlimited Dropbox.
Yep.
So if you just pay just for one top tier plan of Rekordbox, you don't have to pay for Dropbox as well. You get it included in it. Or if you go the plan down, you'll have to subscribe to Dropbox as well. If you're going to go over like, you know, I don't know what the 3 terabyte thing is. So yeah, I definitely recommend using Dropbox for that. And then let's finish on this amazing question. Roland on the Rope said, if you were to start again from scratch as a professional in 2023, what would be your first 3 steps?
It's good if we were to start again. First 3 steps would be finding good music.
Yep.
Getting a controller. Building a community. Are they steps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
they're sort of the most important way to sort of get your first gig. I think, get music first before anything.
Yeah,
and then get your equipment. You're going to need that to learn your skills, and then network a few people in your area or some friends that you can sort of connect with on a deeper level over music. I think.
Let's say just to get a different answer, it says to start scratch as a professional. Now, let's imagine that we know how to DJ and we're trying to start from scratch getting gigs because we've had time off, but we're still a confident DJ. We've had time off, and now we're like, I want to get back in the industry. I want to I want to do this.
Do this.
What do we think the first 3 steps? I think community is a good one there, because you need to involve yourself in the scene and the community that you want to be playing in. And that might be building your own community, like throwing your own parties, you know, just literally socializing and networking and just being around other people that are interested in the same music. So community is definitely first step.
Yep.
Does that extend
social
to
proof?
Yeah, social proof. Yeah.
Like content is king. 100% content.
So yeah, I'd work on a bit of a strategy for content, and start that ball rolling. Third step,
networking. 100%. Like you got to get out there in front of the right people.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to use your content to get you gigs. Simple as that.
And put it in front of people.
Yep.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you guys for listening, watching. Please like and subscribe. That does really, really help. Again, one last shout out for anyone listening. Use the code Off the Record for 20% off any individual DJ course, or there is 75% of all courses with the complete DJ package. And we will see you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.